guys, welcome back to my channel. How are you guys doing? You good? You good? Okay, so today I'm going to be sharing with you guys what are, in my opinion, the best supplements for treating iron deficiency anemia, as well as all of the nasty hair loss that comes with that. So guys, make sure you stay tuned till the end of the video. I'm also going to be sharing how long it took me before I started seeing results on these supplements, and also how long it was before my iron levels actually rose. Really quick before we get into this video, I do want to make a quick disclaimer. I am not a doctor. Yes, I am a trichologist, but I am not your personal doctor. So if you feel like you are experiencing anemic symptoms or you're experiencing low energy, please do talk to your GP about it. Go and get a blood test so that you can confirm what your status is before you start taking any iron supplements. Iron overdose is a real thing, and I want to make sure that you guys stay healthy and whole. So please make sure that you do your due diligence and you go and speak to your GP before you start taking any of these supplements. Okay guys, now let's get into this video. Some of you may already know that I've had my own personal struggles with low iron over the past few years. And when I was looking at the numbers, I was actually strangely encouraged to find out that up to 1/3 of the world's population actually struggles with low iron or iron deficiency anemia. However, I can't say that I wasn't gutted to find out that it's more common or more prevalent in women who are of childbearing age, and even more so amongst women who belong to ethnic minorities like Black women or Hispanic women. Talk less of women of color who are of childbearing age that are then on meat restrictive diet, of which I was all of those things. I was 3 for 3. But honestly, seeing how much great feedback I've been getting from you guys on these videos about iron lets me know that I'm in great company. So shout out to you guys, because honestly, you guys are the real MVPs. It's just so good to know that I'm not the only one struggling with these things, and that some of the stuff that I'm sharing is actually helping you guys through your own journey and your own struggles with low iron and iron deficiency hair loss. Now, just in case anyone watching this video isn't 100% sure about what anemia is, the easiest way that I can explain this is that, plain and simple, we need energy to survive. Oxygen gives us energy, and what helps us carry the oxygen around our bodies are our red blood cells. When we don't have enough red blood cells, we don't have enough oxygen. Now, what we need in order to have enough red blood cells to give us the oxygen that we need for the energy to survive is iron, hence iron supplements. So to sum it up in one simple flowchart, iron gives us the red blood cells that we need to carry the oxygen around our bodies in order to have the energy to survive. You guys with me? Okay. Now the thing is, even though low energy is probably the poster child for anemia, one of the other symptoms that we've noticed in trichological research, and obviously from personal experience as well, is the fact that hair loss is actually one of the other telltale signs of low iron and anemia. Now, the generally accepted healthy range for iron levels or ferritin levels are between 12 nanograms per milliliter of blood and 150 nanograms per milliliter of blood for women. Of course, it's much higher for men, but that's not what we're talking about today. Now, let's just clarify, because I'm also aware that within that range, there are further broken down ranges, because it is quite a big gap in between 12 and 150. So let's just check that. Okay, yeah, so yeah, we can see here, like, ferritin guide to interpretation. So low is considered 15 nanograms per milliliter of blood. So that would be like 15 or less, basically, you would be considered anemic. And anything in between 16 nanograms to 40 nanograms per milliliter would be considered borderline. So this was the category where I fell into. I wasn't clinically anemic, but I was borderline. And then normal would be classified as in between 41 and 150 nanograms per milliliter. Here it says 41 and 400, but I think that's also considering males. So ours would be capped at 150. So a normal range for a woman would be in between 41 and 150 nanograms per milliliter of blood. So I actually did a video a couple months ago about the real reason why your hair isn't growing. And in that video, I actually explained how even women whose ferritin levels were in the healthy range, so above 41, were still losing their hair. Studies actually showed that women women who had ferritin levels that were lower than 70 nanograms per milliliter were still experiencing iron deficiency hair loss or low iron hair loss. So if you haven't had the chance to see that video yet, I would highly recommend that you go and look at it. I'll put the link up here so you can go and watch that and then come back to this video, or you can just watch it after this video. Now, with ferritin levels that were 23 nanograms per milliliter, safe to say I was comfortably borderline anemic. But the thing is, because doctors don't typically recognize anything under 15 or anything under 12 as a threat to your health, they didn't actually give me any sort of indication of how I could increase my iron levels. It wasn't until I started learning a bit more about nutrition and trying out different supplements that I ended up coming to find the Mega Food Blood Builder, which has been by far the best iron building supplement that I have tried, hands down. Now, the first thing that I will say I really appreciate about these supplements is the fact that with every single capsule, so with one dosage, you get 26 milligrams of iron. Now, just to put that into context for you guys, up until finding these supplements, I had not been able to find any iron supplements that were commercially available in the United Kingdom that had more than 18 milligrams per serving. Now, the reason why this is so important is the fact that your body loses about 2 milligrams of iron every single day. And so through your diet, whether that's by food or by supplements or a combination of both, you need to be able to replenish those 2 milligrams of iron per day. Now, if you guys have seen my other video about how you can boost your iron levels, I'll pop that up here. I talk about how ingestion does not necessarily equal absorption. So even if you are ingesting 26 milligrams of iron per day, you're not actually absorbing 26 milligrams of iron per day. And so to get a more accurate understanding of how much your body would be absorbing of the iron that you are actually ingesting, it's about 5 to 10%. So let's say on average 7%. And so if I'm ingesting, let's say 25 milligrams of iron per day, then I'm only actually absorbing about 1.75 of those milligrams per day, which doesn't even meet the 2 milligram requirement anyway. And that's for somebody who has already normal iron levels, talk less of somebody who has iron levels that are depleted. And so it makes sense to me that if I wanted to give myself the best chance of meeting those requirements for replenishing the iron that I've lost, that I would ingest more iron, of course, within reason. And so having access to supplements like the Blood Builder that help me get that last bit that I need to be able to push myself over that line is so helpful. Now, the second thing that I will say that makes these supplements so effective is the fact that they have vitamin C, folate, and vitamin B12. Now, I would classify all of these additional nutrients and vitamins as absorption boosters. And by that, I mean they just help your body to actually absorb the iron that is being ingested. Again, if you haven't seen the video that I did on how to increase your iron levels, I talk about the difference between heme iron and non-heme iron. Heme iron you get from animal protein, and non-heme iron you get from plant sources, and it's the kind of iron that you would typically find in supplements. Now, vitamin C is one of those vitamins that helps your body to convert non-heme iron into a form that is easily absorbed and stored by your body, where it might otherwise have struggled to do that. And again, vitamin B12 and folate help your body to absorb the iron that you are ingesting. The other thing that I will say about this is the fact that it also has beetroot. Now, beetroot is a very, very rich natural source of iron. I did a video on iron boosting smoothies, and it was one of the key ingredients for one of them. It's extremely iron rich, and so it's just that extra boost of iron, but from a natural source as well. Okay, before I jump into this next point, I'm just gonna go ahead and put a TMI disclaimer right here. If you're squeamish and you don't like talking about bodily functions, then I would say just skip the next 60 seconds or so of this video, and I'll see you after this point. So one of the big things that I really did appreciate about these is the fact that at the time when I was struggling with low iron, I was also struggling with irritable bowel syndrome. And it was not easy trying to find iron supplements that just wouldn't constipate me. Honestly, for me, it was not a trade-off that I was prepared to make. I didn't think I was asking too much to find some supplements that boosted my iron without making the IBS symptoms I was experiencing worse. Just really quickly before I forget, if you live in the UK and you've been having a hard time finding finding good iron supplements. The only place that I've been able to find these is on Amazon. So I've actually popped the link in the description box below. I put one there for these ones, which are the main ones, and I've also put another one there for the minis in case you have an issue with big tablets. And also, whilst you guys are there, if this video is helping you in any way, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and don't forget to hit the notification bell so that you don't miss out on any videos that I post. Okay, let's get back to business. Now, coming off the back of my previous point, these supplements are everything friendly. And by everything, I mean everything. So these supplements are non-GMO verified. They are also, I'm gonna need my glasses for this, hold on. Sweet Jesus, heal my eyesight, Lord. Much better. Yeah, glyphosate residue free, pesticide and herbicide free, also certified gluten free, certified vegan. There's a K here, we don't even know what that means. And it's also dairy free, and these are also soy free. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if these are pet friendly as well. Please don't quote me on that. So yeah, safe to say that these supplements cater to every kind of dietary lifestyle ever. Now, the final thing that I will say about these supplements is the fact that they do come in mini form. So there are two types. There are the normal ones that come in the normal size. So they're not necessarily so big, but they're also not that small. But I can see how it might be uncomfortable for people who aren't used to swallowing big tablets. So they come in a minis version where the tablet sizes are a bit smaller. So again, they cater to all of your dietary needs. Now, as convenient as it is to have the minis, the dosage of the beetroot in the minis is actually more. So I don't know why it seems like you almost have a trade-off between having to have the bigger supplements and lower beetroot content, or the smaller supplements and the higher beetroot content. And you also have to take more of the pills if you're taking the mini. So instead of taking one capsule, you end up having to take 2 capsules, which I kind of feel like defeats the point of having minis anyway. But honestly, it's not so much of an issue for me. I have the big ones. As you can see, they're not actually that big. To be fair, they're probably smaller than others that I've tried. And then the only other thing that I would say about these supplements is the fact that they are a little bit pricier than your standard supplements out there. But again, I feel like that's to be expected because they do have a higher content. Now, as valid as all of these points are, I don't really know that I would consider them complete turn-offs for me. They might be for other people, but for me, they didn't really matter, especially because of how quickly I began to see results from using these supplements. And even though it has been a few years now since I've managed to get my iron levels under control, I can remember that within about 2 weeks, I started to feel better. Like symptomatically, I wasn't struggling as much with low energy, if at all. I also had more focus, my mood improved, I wasn't feeling so depressed most of the time. I was happier, I was laughing, I was jokey, I was more bubbly. And then within the next 2 to 3 months, I started to see more tangible results in terms of how much hair fall I was having. My hair was falling out less, and the hair that actually was then growing from my scalp was coming out a lot thicker than it had been when my iron levels were really low. Now, I would say it took me about 6 months between when I started taking these supplements to when I could see my ferritin levels going up in my blood test results. Now, I will caveat this and say that I wasn't taking these supplements as often as I should have been. So you're supposed to take them every day. Just because I wasn't used to having to take supplements and I didn't typically take vitamins, it took me a while to get into the habit of doing it consistently. So that could have affected how quickly I saw results. And also the fact that I didn't actually take another follow-up blood test until about 6 months after, just because I didn't really remember to go and do another follow-up blood test. So that's everything from me today, guys. I really hope that this video has helped you. Thank you guys so much for watching. I also want to say thank you guys so much for subscribing to my channel, whether you've just subscribed right now in this video or whether you've been subscribed for weeks or for months or since day one. I just want to say thank you guys. It really does mean a lot to me that you would support me. Also, if any of you guys have tried the blood builder, please let me know how it's worked for you in the comments. And even if you haven't actually tried the blood builder, but you've got some iron supplements that have worked wonders for you, then please share them in the comments, guys. I'd love to know what has worked for you. And you never know who's going to be scrolling through the comments, who's going to see something that might actually help them in their journey to finding what works best for building their iron levels. Now, I know most of you will probably be spending your weekend indoors, so I hope you guys have a restful, wonderful weekend, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Bye.